Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action at the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, along with the altcoin market, which we've got quite a bit of green over here today. We take a peek over there at the United States stock market, which is set to open up in the next 1 minute, along with metals like gold and silver and the US dollar currency index. Lastly, we take a look over there at any type of financial news and crypto news so we can kick off our day, and then we hang out in the chat for the remainder of the stream as we get things kicked off and ready to go. It looks like in pre-market, we have kind of a mixed stock market over there. You got the NASDAQ up 120 points, but you have the Dow down 30. Yesterday was a good day in the stock market with the Dow up 263. The S&P was up 59. The NASDAQ was up 260. So a positive day of about 1.5% there for the indexes yesterday, with metals still continuing to pull back. So that's definitely what we want to see. We want to see metals continuing to pull back. And of course, as we caught there in the middle of the stream yesterday, we saw the DXY break down through that 106 level. So it's been, we got to continue that throughout the day. So as we kick off today and as things get opened up here right now, we'll see in just a second the Dow about flat. We'll see the S&P slightly up, the NASDAQ up quite a bit. Of course, Tesla's probably leading the way over there as Tesla came out of their earnings yesterday, and I believe they're up about 13% here as the day gets ready to kicked off. As for crypto, as for Bitcoin sits here at $66,000. The big news over there in crypto. Yesterday with the big mover, the one that hit the waves of social media, of course, yesterday ended up being Hedera Hashgraph, or HBAR. Ended up closing the day up 73% yesterday. It was pretty wild off of some news, some questionable mixed news out there. I'm not going to dive too deep into that or give any opinions on that, on whether BlackRock is involved or not involved, whatever, tokenizing BlackRock stuff over there on the HBAR chain. But, either way, the market went absolutely bonkers over it yesterday, with Hedera shooting up massively and has since taken back quite a bit of it, taken back a little bit less than half of the move, but it was just absolutely monstrous yesterday of 73% and then still continued more. So you could see yesterday, vroom, at one point up over 100% yesterday. Sebastian, that one's for you, buddy. And there you go. So a decent move over there, but obviously a lot of volatility happening in here, coinciding with some news. The market was relatively flat yesterday. There wasn't a whole lot of craziness actually happening in yesterday's market. You could see we just really kind of stuck there. So it was really kind of an outlier happening there for Hedera. But otherwise, mixed day today. Nothing crazy, nothing running to tell mom about as we just kind of continue to waddle along in here. But Wednesdays, you know what they are. They're the best day of the week.
It is Wednesday, my It is Wednesday.
There we go. Happy Wednesday, everybody. If it's your first time tuning in on a Wednesday, we do try to have a good time on a Wednesday. Sometimes markets are up, and it makes it even more fun. Sometimes our markets are down, and I look like an inconsiderate jerk playing the frog. But it doesn't matter. On Wednesday, we play it. And as Jake says, let us all go. All right, there you go. Bitcoin at 65.8. We could see that we had gotten back up into those same levels that we have before in a consolidation structure that was similar to this from back in 2021. The good news is I've actually already recorded, edited, and exported a video today. So we're going to talk a lot about this, and we're talking about the altcoin market and how it's actually exactly where it was at this particular time. And so that will be deep dived into today's video, and we'll probably even talk about it a little bit here in markets in the morning, just to be able to fill a little bit of time in case we run out of things to talk about. We can briefly touch on that too, just how this market has actually behaved so similarly to 2021. You probably have most people screaming out there, why isn't the altcoin market out there? The real ironic thing about this is the altcoin market actually hitting that 702 Fibonacci retracement. It actually hits it right here on March 14th here in 2024. Do you know when the altcoin market actually hit the 702 retracement in 2021? Right there on January 10th of 2021. So we've talked a lot about how this market and Bitcoin's price action is much further along, and based on on-chain activity and things that we've seen out there that, you have people thinking, the block reward just happened, so that means we still have a year and a half to go, or 4-year cycles means we still have a lot of time left in this. But we are actually acting like we're way further along in this market than people may suspect that we are. So we'll talk about that in today's video, but this is actually the exact locations where we hit the 702 retracements back in 2021 versus 2024. And I thought that was fascinating. And so we go through various different things in that video. And so keep an eye out for that to be posted very shortly after this live stream is completely over. Thinking Crypto, what's up, brother? All right, so there you go. This is kind of just where we're hovering at in here, trying to get ourselves a little bit of a recovery in here. We're still waiting for things to kind of clear themselves out on whether or not, we're just kind of hovering in here. There's going to be another correction that takes us back down into these levels. That's my suspicion. And, one of those things that leads me to think that is I don't think we're done with the kind of capitulatory moment that happens over there in the United States stock market. And we actually talked about this earlier last week and earlier this week or late last week, that what we typically see is this, and then there's this one flush. What will be really fascinating to me is that everybody's been cheering for bullish rate cuts, right? And right now the market does not anticipate that we're going to be getting a rate cut on May 1st. That's 1 week from today. It does not anticipate that it's going to happen. But in each circumstance, we were cutting by the time this had happened. After being through a pause and going through this, we got this moment like during the great financial crisis. This is where we got our first cut in here. And it just kind of showed up suddenly with a surprise rate cut that we're going to end up doing it. The initial fall, and then we do a rate cut in here. So will there be some narrative or some justifications or reasons why? I don't know. But if it does end up happening, which all signs, here's your magic 8 ball, all signs point to no. All signs point to not going to happen. You have 98% probability of still continuing to be paused, and you still have massive probabilities of still continuing to be paused there in June. However, that's where we've done it. So we'll keep our eyes on it, and that'll just be some more confirmations of things to be a little bit concerned about moving forward. Again, like we've seen when rate cuts have happened, this is kind of the thing that we get, and it's really that moment where everybody thinks everything is going to be fine. You got the memes posted of Jerome Powell putting out the money printer and all that kind of stuff, and everything is going to be crazy. And then especially if you set a new high in there, could you imagine if you've had a rate cut and you set a new high, the market would go absolutely ballistic sentiment-wise. So we'll keep our eyes on that. I thought it was just, I don't think we're there yet. I think we're probably starting to see the evidence of that now start to kind of show up in here for Bitcoin a little bit. And I think this will still continue to waddle on in here. And we're just waiting for this thing to give us the clear. And I just don't think it's definitely not super clear to me on if we've already completed enough in here to be just kind of waddling out right now, or if we're kind of, waddling in here to have to correct again and just pull back in here. My suspicions are we're not going to take out those lows, but that, we still could just have to correct in there. So it's still just going to continue to be a waiting game on that for that to keep on going. But again, this was a very fascinating time for 2021 and 2024 right now. If you think the market's acting any differently than it did in 2021, you should watch today's video because you will see it's actually not, which is wild. It's wild. So we'll, and of course, the big problem in the thing cheering for is we just haven't had expansion. That's why we talked a lot about those things. We talked about expansion, and but this was the moment that it was. And I found my tweet. I was going back through my tweets. I had posted on January 24th, 2021, the actual moment it had happened when we were getting through the 702 Fibonacci retracement. And that I look forward to that day coming again. That will be an epic day. I'll probably do the exact same tweet again. But that's just kind of what we have to wait for. And that's why all those concerns have been there. But if we get through here, when we do get through those things, and just to kind of put it into context for those, you're thinking the market's down and rough, that this is what the market looks like until you get to expansion. And then things move really fast, and that's just how it goes. And so that's really kind of how we've been in here, right? And just to kind of give you a little bit of context and understanding of how things have behaved, and that things aren't that crazy or different. We just have to get through there, and if we can, that's where all of our laser eyes and diamond hand friends start coming in. That's where Reddit starts coming in. That's where TikTok starts coming in. That's where Gene Simmons starts tweeting. That's where who are all the celebrities of 2021? Why can't I remember her? The girl from Mean Girls. What is her name? Come on. Somebody do it really fast. But anyway, we had so many celebrities tweeting. Snoop Dogg was tweeting. Lindsay Lohan. Yeah, right. That's where they all came in. That's where retail pours in. Retail doesn't come in here. Retail comes in at the top. And so we don't have retail here just yet. And people always say, well, where is retail? Where is retail? Well, retail isn't allowed here. Retail isn't welcome here. Retail is welcomed up here if we get to escape. So that's where we're at. So, okay. 66,127 over there for Bitcoin. The craziness, of course, yesterday came with HBAR or Hedera hash graph. I'm not going to dive into this narrative too much because there's a lot of controversy out there on it, and I don't have an opinion on it or know enough about it, right? So I think the initial narrative on it was that BlackRock tokenized one of their funds on Hedera, but that did not end up being the case. The case is a company tokenized some of one of Hedera's, or the company tokenized some of BlackRock's fund on Hedera, which did not mean that BlackRock was associated with that occurring. Anyway, it's kind of one of those things, if I touch it with a 10-foot pole, people might get mad at me. I'll just say I'm happy this. Sebastian is rolling over in his grave right now. So we could take that. That's good enough for me. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's extremely volatile. Be careful out there. But great to see some action happening on Hedera. It's one of those things with those development activity coins. We've gone through a lot of those. This is one of them. Boom, big move. Okay, there you go. Nothing new over here with XRP. Story's still the same. We can look at what recoveries looked like before things got moving before. Let's see if we can do it over here. Will you let me get to the 4-hour chart? You will. All right. My suspicions would be that we're more so in something like that right there. Having to do some pulling back in here. There's going to be some consolidating in here. And then if we're able to get this guy to escape, that's XRP's opportunity. And that story, that still just remains consistent. That there's not like a flip of the switch. It's not some magic that happens or anything like that. This thing totally just moves with the rest of the market. And in the event that we get that, we went through this I believe I even did it in a video. We did it in Markets in the Morning and in a video. This is actually exactly how it did react. But it didn't mean we weren't done in here, which also didn't mean we weren't done kind of hanging out in here. So let's give it a little bit more time to play out. But it is nice, again, with that Hedera stuff, to see that much money can be poured into something very, very, very quickly in this market. And that's what this market wants. They want to chase. They want to YOLO chase. But okay, there you go. We'll talk about the stock market here really fast. NASDAQ is up 168, S&P is up 17, RTY, the Russell's up 3.6, and the Dow is down 31. So pretty mixed over there, but mostly green, at least for tech. So you can see over there, Tesla's up 11% on their stuff. Tesla did not sell any of their Bitcoin, which I didn't say anything publicly to make any fear or anything out of that. But I was curious about that, if they would end up doing it, due to them most recently laying off so much of their staff. I don't know the exact numbers of what they had laid off. I remember rumors of 30,000. Maybe it only ended up being 15,000. So the questions were whether or not they had enough cash flow to be able to keep going, or else why would you have to be laying off so much staff? But turns out they did not sell any of their Bitcoin, at least not in Q4 or Q3. So Q1. What am I doing? So that's positive. Still waiting. We're still in the middle of earnings season to see if anybody is going to come out and announce that they've added the Bitcoin ETF. For those who don't know and who weren't here in 2021, we went through all this consolidation happening in here. This is where Elon Musk started his whole. He became much like, so. If you don't know this, like Elon Musk, talked about Doge a lot during the whole bear market of 2018, 19, and 20. It was not something new that happened there at the end. He had actually just been laughing about it and talking about it on Twitter for years on end before anything ever ended up happening. But there was some Elon something happening in here, but the announcement of the Bitcoin on the balance sheet occurred right in here. So there was long consolidation followed by catalysts that happened in here, and that was our narrative, right? So just thinking of it from the aspects of once we escaped this range, there was some narrative. There was some reason to be YOLO. There was some reason to say, I'm diamond handing, I'm never selling ever, I'm holding for forever. The prices of where we're at right now are cheap. We're still early. Everybody's a pleb who doesn't own Bitcoin. That's what happened, right? And that was the end. So just kind of thinking about that from that particular aspect, but also at the same time, that was when the altcoin market was able to go for its escape. So we'll be keeping our eyes for any narratives, and I'm just really curious of what it could possibly be, if it's going to have anything to do with somebody adding the ETF to their balance sheet or not. But we still have not had any announcements yet of any companies doing that. We're getting pretty much into the thick of earnings season now, so still nothing yet. But the good news was at least Tesla did not dump their Bitcoin. So, fair enough. All right, there you go. DXY, 108.81. Gold, 23.20. We're still continuing to see metals struggle in here. That's what we do want to see. There is an inverse relationship between what happens with metals and what happens with equities. And equities have a direct relationship with crypto. So we're seeing a little bit of a pullback in here. But questions are, is that wave one? Is that 1, 2, 3, 4? Is there still that one more to get that one more right there? Because we typically do have one more there. So kind of waiting on how that's going to play out in there. But okay, 105 there, 23.19 for gold, starting to chill out. Hedera was the big news of the town. Ethereum at 32.49. There we go. We've talked about this. Now we won't go into this too much because we talk about it quite often. But there you go. That's the NASDAQ 100 technology sector versus Bitcoin and how it's behaved in the past. But okay, there you go. The await continues. The range lives on, but some life breathed back into the market yesterday with Hedera. So very cool. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the news. Elon Musk is keeping investors' dreams alive. No, wait, let's do that again. My eyes were jumping between screens. Elon Musk is keeping investors' dreams of a Tesla robotaxi alive. Are all of you sitting there dreaming about robotaxis? Elon Musk is taking care of you. That dream is alive. Boeing reports better than feared quarter, says supply chain is stabilizing amid 737 MAX crisis. Biden issues new rules for airlines to require automatic cash refunds, prohibit surprise fees. I doubt it. I doubt it. All right, S&P 500 futures nudge higher after earnings lift the index to a second winning day. Biogen tops profit estimates as cost cuts take hold. Alzheimer's drug Leqembi launch picks up. I don't know anything about that, but if they can solve Alzheimer's, that would be the most amazing thing ever. That would be absolutely fantastic. That is not, if Alzheimer's has never impacted your life in any way, it has in mine. And that was a really rough time of my life having somebody I know have that. So if we can ever solve that, oh my goodness. Okay, it's the busiest week in earnings, and these stocks could see a blow up. Tesla shares jump after Musk says company aims to start producing affordable new EV by early 2025. Here we go. We'll do CoinDesk first. Binance founder Changpeng Zhao should spend 3 years in prison, DOJ says. The DOJ wants Zhao to serve 36 months after his guilty plea last year. Wouldn't it just be amazing? I have no dog in this fight, so I don't have an opinion. But just crazy that you would have CZ and Sam Bankman-Fried both in prison at the same time. Bit crazy. Hedera's H-bar doubles, then falls 25% as BlackRock links diminish. Hedera announced on Tuesday that BlackRock's U.S. Treasury money market fund had been tokenized on its blockchain. Right. And so I don't think it actually... I don't think BlackRock had any role in that occurring. You know what I mean? I think there's a big difference between BlackRock being like, we want to tokenize on Hedera, and then the difference of an investment fund being like, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to buy some shares and then we're going to tokenize those on Hedera, but BlackRock had nothing to do with it. I think that was the misconception of the market. The market maybe thought BlackRock chose Hedera, and that was not the case of what happened. Okay, there you go. Nigeria's central bank forced to deny claims of crypto account freeze. Bitcoin whale FOMO hits as Bitcoin price coils below 67K liquidity zone. Hey, all retail investors who read this, we want you to know you are early and the whales are FOMOing. Okay, Chainlink God was in high school when he started the account. X Hall of Fame. Oh, Chainlink God was in high school when he started the account. X Hall of Fame. BlackRock aware that RWAs are multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. Kinto co-founder. I've moved on to other things. Satoshi Nakamoto's final email revisited after 13 years. DAO maker hack victims still await reimbursement 3 years later. El Salvador hackers leak code of state Bitcoin wallet. SEC lawyer resigns after gross abuse of power in a crypto case. That's just their culture. I still am curious, what was the threshold that made it to where, like, you have to resign? Like, really? That's like their culture to be like that. You know what? You have to resign, but here, we're going to give you $10 million, okay? Just like, don't tell anybody about this. I'm just going to give it to you in Bitcoin, okay? All right. Blockchain Association and crypto activist group sue SEC over dealer rule. Crypto users fooled by fake Elizabeth Warren letter proposing a crypto tax. Okay. That's it. That's what you got today. That's what you got. You got still a sideways crab market going on here, for at least for the last few days. We'll see if we can work our way a little bit higher in here, if we're going to have to spend some more time in these areas. Either way, just kind of waiting on it to give us some answers in here. But it was nice to at least see somebody go ballistic. H-bar over 100% in less than 24 hours. It was pretty wild. So otherwise, chilling market, green, algo, Ondo, both up over 10%. Otherwise, kind of mixing here with Hedera pulling back. So, okay. That's your market today. One more little recap of everything going on. You got Bitcoin still chilling sideways. You got Total 3 still humming along, waiting to see if we're going to have to spend a little bit more time in here first. But otherwise, things are looking fantastic in here. XRP, still just a creeper. NDXT stock market up today. NDXT is actually doing quite well. It's up 1.66%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 12 points, but you do have the NASDAQ up 162 and the S&P 15 and the RTY 4. So you have a 0.25% for the Russell, 0.33% for the S&P, 1% for the NASDAQ, flat for the Dow, with Tesla leading the way over there in the stock market, followed by ARK, Meta, Caterpillar. Losers of the morning are GE. And this isn't really GE anymore, right? This is GE Aerospace. We might have to, I don't know. I need to research GE and see if we need to even include this anymore. Do we want to have GE Aerospace in here? Maybe, I don't know. All right, Netflix, United Health, Roblox in the red. Mostly GE and Netflix. Treasury yields up slightly today. Metals, flat. Flat for the day, with the DXY still below the historical danger zone now, which we caught yesterday during live in the stream. We saw the DXY breakdown. So, okay. Anticipation of a Fed cut. What is this conditional? These tabs, is that new? I think that's new. All right. 98% probability that the Fed will still be paused when we have the meeting on Wednesday. These are things that I love to actually live stream. We hang out here, we watch Jerome Powell go, we count all of his hard swallows, and we have a really good time. And unfortunately, we've missed the last one. And I will be missing this one too. We won't have it. We won't have this one too. So I will be heading to Vegas. So I won't be available for this particular Fed meeting, but hopefully for the ones after that, I will be. So, okay. There you go. I think we've covered it all. That's what's going on in the markets. Next Wednesday is the Fed meeting, which means, shouldn't we be getting... I'm just going to check something. I want to check. Investing.com CPI. I really don't know when our next CPI rating is. Not till May 15th. Okay, not till May 15th. So we don't have anything to talk about when it comes to that. Okay, that's what you got today. Crab market today. H-bar was the exciting thing. Stock market mixed over there. Everybody's super pumped about Tesla because they're going to be an AI company now or something. I don't know. I didn't read it all. They're up to 12 or 13% or something like that over there for Tesla. Good for them. They've been on the struggle bus for quite a while now. They're up 12%. And DXY is down below the historical danger level. So see if we can just kind of chill out here for a little while as we continue to crab on along. But keep an eye out for today's video. We're going to talk a whole lot about this stuff if you caught what we were talking about at the beginning. Otherwise, I am hopping into the chat, and that will conclude what is actually going on here in the markets this morning. But if you're just tuning in, you're like, wow, this guy's real serious. He talks about lots of good stuff. Let me ruin your day.
It is Wednesday, my It is Wednesday.
All right. I do try to keep the channel serious, but like then on, Wednesdays we let it go. The reality is we are watching paint dry, right? Hi, paint. Would you like to paint slight red today or slight green today? And sometimes you just I got to add a little bit of humor to make time pass by as the paint just continues to dry. So sometimes we like to have a little bit of fun. So hopefully you can understand that on a Wednesday. So, all right, guys, we're hopping into the chat. Let's do this. Froggy McFroggins was right out the gate. I saw it, man. He did it like half an hour, like 20 minutes before the stream even started. He said, BCB, your content is like good soil, and every day your words act like water to my investments. Keep the faith, continue to be led, and keep on doing what you do because you do so well. Keep on doing because what you do so well. Thank you very much, Froggy. And that was her first time super chatting. And the thing about Froggy, is Froggy is always the first one here. If not the first, very close to first, but most of the time, very first in here when the stream opens up. So like 20, 30 minutes before we go live, he's the first one there in the chat. Froggy, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you just being here every day and always flocking in here, man. Thank you. All right, Pat. And then Pat, of course, I thanked you guys in the chat earlier. Pat had gifted 5, but he's gone now. I appreciate it, Pat. Thank you, sir. Crypto Student 99 had gifted a BCB membership too. Thank you very much. Dylan Kerr says, HBAR was my largest holding and swapped it to XRP on the dip. Oh, if you had an emotional log about XRP, what would it say right now? With activity not there, seems like hope is being lost. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that there's concerns there, right? So they have to be addressed. And the thing is, there's solutions. It's just whether or not the solutions are going to end up happening, right? It's one of those things where you have everything and then there's like nothing you can do about it. There's clear things that can be done. Ripple, the pressure should be put on Ripple a lot. And, you know, they've got all the money. And that's the reality of it. They've got all the money. But as for an emotional log, if I had an emotional log about XRP, what would it say right now? It's been 6 long years. I don't know, man. I don't really live in such small moments anymore. Like, if you guys couldn't tell, for the last month and a half, I was emotionally not feeling well in there. I was emotionally the polar opposite of what was happening out there, and that was a weird place to be in. Emotionally, I don't feel that way anymore. I feel way more optimistic now. So I don't find myself in like a weird, dark, lonely place. And when you're kind of screaming, like, I'm kind of worried, because the crowd doesn't want it, you know. And so I don't think if I had an emotional log, like if I truly had an emotional log right now, my emotional log would be, hey, look, I've actually got some optimism right now. I'm actually feeling a little bit excited that we could turn things around. You know, in the past, we actually acted just like this. And we're like right on the cusp of how things were last time. And, you know, I'm emotionally already know that this thing isn't going to move. This XRP is not going to move unless if this thing's going to move. This thing has to go. So the question is, are we acting any differently than we did in the past? And so I say, well, you know, we got here, right here, on March 14th. When we got to the 702 retracement in 2021, it was on January 10th, right there. Then, you know, we had to waddle for a little bit. And then eventually the real excitement got going. And so I look at this and I say, oh, fractals, cool. Yeah, we just overlay prices to do what we want them to do. But then you say, well, is the price behavior of the market acting different than something like that occurring? And I think the market's actually acting very similar to how it behaved in the past. And so if we have all these similarities really kind of lining up, I'm just more optimistic. So I think I'm in a pretty good state. So now, if I had swapped all my HBAR for XRP a couple of days ago, that would be a different story, buddy. Dylan, I'm sure, man. I'm sure you're feeling that one right there. But it's curious why you chose that too. You're talking about the lack of activity, but you still swapped everything over to it. Hey, BCB, I appreciate you. I hear clear says, hey, BCB, I appreciate all that you do. Think we'll get a stream on how to use the automatic market maker soon? Yeah, it's a good idea. It's super easy. It's super easy. Shout out to the XP market guys. I'm taking a look here. So, think I'm playing with it on the other screen real quick, just see if it's safe for me to be clicking around and doing stuff. Yeah, okay. Here you go, XP market. So you can just head over here. You have stuff over here: automatic market maker, swaps, DEX, right? So for the XRP ledger, they have it has a built-in DEX, so you can trade XRP for USD, or you can trade altcoins on XRP over here on the DEX. The automatic market maker right there. So you can select different coins in here. USD, you can do Zerpe, Solo, Casino Coin, Expector. There's a whole lot of them, right? Look, here's automatic market maker rankings down over here. You could see where, and of course I am on xpmarket.com, not sponsored, not associated, but give them a little bit of a show here. But you could see liquidity, what each pair has in its liquidity, what the depth is in the order book, plus 2%, minus 2% in here. Let's see if we do this. There you go. You guys see a little bit better now? The depth, plus 2%, minus 2% for the different pairings that happen in here. So your biggest pairings in here are Sologenic versus XRP, USDC versus XRP, USD, Corium, Zerpe, XEPE, USD over XRP. Why are those two different? That's weird. I don't know. XLM over XRP, Casino Coin. There you go. But you get an idea, right? So that's how much liquidity they have in each pairing right in there. And that's the depth of the order book. If you were to do a market sell or a market buy, so that's how much depth it would have. If you go here, I will just click on like Mr. Zerpe. So instead of using the DEX, right? So if you go to the DEX, you're going to see that there may not be enough liquidity in the actual DEX. So let's go play with this really quick. So looking to the upside, like let's do this. If I was to buy that, I don't even know. What am I looking at? I'm on the wrong thing. There you go, the order book. All right, so for about a $2,000 market buy on the DEX, I would end up shifting the price up 50%. So on the actual DEX, on the actual order book, there's not going to be as much liquidity, right? But on the automatic market maker, you have swap, right? And it's telling you right here that you have the ability to only move the price 2% with $1.5 thousand by using the swap feature. So rather than just buying directly from the DEX, you just buy with a swap. And so in here, like swapping XRP for Zerpe, right? And in here, you could do that and not shift the order book as much. So instead of buying on the DEX, you actually end up buying here in the automatic market maker, and you do it with the swap function. Now, if you want to end up contributing to the market maker, you do deposit. And so you do I don't have any here, but let's see if it'll let me do this. Right? It's going to split it in half, right? So for every dollar you put in of this token, you're going to end up putting in $1 of the opposite side of the market maker, because you're going to end up having a 50-50 split. So you have to have both pairings to be able to contribute to it. But it kind of gives you an idea, right? And so the trading fees on here, is there trading fees? Blind. 0.65%. And depending on how much of the pool that you own, right? Theoretically, you get, say I own 20% of the pool, then I would get 20% of all fees that are earned from trading that happens on this particular pair, right? Of course, that is true for all of these different pairings in here, right? So you can play around with that. Of course, you need to connect your wallet. So you need to have a Zaman wallet, and you need to connect it. And then once you connect it, you need to have, at least, right? You need to have at least XRP in there. And if you're going to do any of these particular pairings, you're probably going to have to do a swap if you don't own any of those tokens, and swap, some XRP for that particular token. Once you have that, then you go deposit, and then, you get 50 XRP, and then whatever the token is, right? So they make it really easy here on XP Market. So go check them out. Okay. Jaxer, hey dad, why can't you invite a frog to a party? They drink all the Coca-Cola. Thank you very much, Jaxer. Did you guys see Jeremy Hogan's video yesterday that he put on Crypto Law? And he was joking about him and Brad Garlinghouse. That was a good one. Andrew Handelsman, was your tweet, it's happening with a GIF attached to it? I remember that one in 2020 before the SEC sued Ripple. Maybe. I don't remember. I'll have to look through that because that one's harder to find. I can't search for it with like a particular word if it's just a GIF. Not a GIF. Strong J, like giraffe. GIF. All right. Toss the flames. Throw the papers in the air. Scream. There's like 500 people shaking their head saying no. All right, Brandon Hammond. HBAR is one of the high dev alts that has hit its 702 market cap already. I think those ones are going to rip. I bet you know that. And I bet that you bought HBAR near and possibly ICP on that dip. Interesting idea. I do focus. I got it focusing on the high development activity is something I've been pretty clear that I'm paying attention to a lot right now. Yeah, it's actually gone way up. But again, that just goes to show you, Hedera was decimated by inflation. This chart makes it look like remotely okay. But here's the reality of it. That's what happens when you have a ton of inflation. Look how excited people are about it. There's the price. Way down here. Right, so it's still coming out of an accumulation schematic to get its work up, but if you go, remember this, right? That you're still below the 0.236 fib. You just barely poked above it right there on the HBAR chart. Look how high the market cap went. Look how high the market cap is. Like the price chart is down here. Horrible color. There you go. The price chart's way down here. Whereas, and what we saw it wick just barely above here on the price chart. Look at this. This almost wicked to a brand new all-time high for Hedera. So inflation has utterly decimated this thing. Now, the inflation thing has been corrected, right? So it's all good now. But the inflation was really bad throughout all of here. And that utterly ravished it. So, even if you're going to look at something like this, and if you were like, I'm only going, I'm YOLO, 4.236 extension from here right now in the market cap, that's only 4.8, 480% from where you are right now. All right, 75 cents or so. So we'll track that. We'll see how the whole market is doing if we get an actual expansion to take place in here in the market. Hopefully that's not all that it gets, but it's something to keep an eye on and things to pay attention to for assets that had huge inflation for a long time. And this is a really good example of it to see that it still is not above its 236 retracement level due to ravishing inflation. The inflation problem is fixed now. It does not have extreme inflation now, but it did all throughout here. And so now the consequences are being paid for that. So, okay. Jay Wiles, are you DCAing into Stark in this correction? We have seen it on Dev Report since last year. Now it's on Coinbase and finally had a nice drop. No, it hasn't been on my radar. Like I own a little bit of it, like I did with Sui, and I did with Tia. But I haven't really paid attention to it at all. I don't know. Maybe I'll just add another little bit. It's one of those things when it's a brand new coin, you just don't really have any way to like base anything off of it when it's brand new, and that's what makes it so hard. And I showed those examples too with Tia. It went to the moon right away. Sui spent 6 months. Sui spent 6 months drowning down before it finally turned its way back up, and that's what you don't really know when these things come out. But no, I haven't. It hasn't been on my radar. I haven't added any. Zoltan says, "Who's Sebastian?" Have a great day. Sebastian has like enjoyed playing the character that he is. It's his way of getting attention now. You could see him doing it every day in the chat. RS, dude, both the in-laws had dementia. It's the absolute worst. Thanks for all that you do, man. I've learned so much. Thank you, RS. Yeah, sorry about that, man. That's a rough thing, dude. A rough thing. It's the saddest thing. And I think it's one of those things that, gosh, if we could cure anything, cure that. Because who wants to live their whole life and then forget it all at the end? Ugh. All right, thank you, RS. Eric Martinez says, you can like super chats now. Eric Hernandez. Like this along with the video. Let's go. And then he gets is that the record? 34. Eric, my man, thank you. Derek says, I made 6.5K for the great idea to get developer coins like HBAR you had. I sold my HBAR at 14.5 cents. Dang, man, you nailed it. It went higher, but it's never wrong to take profits. Duty, honor, Texas, my dude. That's awesome, man. Congratulations to you. I mean, that was a crazy move. I mean, that was not along with what the rest of the market was doing. That caught me by surprise too, to see that happen in there. I was definitely not anticipating HBAR was about to go YOLO 100% in 24 hours. Definitely not. Not mad though. Not mad. Jerome, if the market tops in the summer, then there isn't enough time left for XRP to solve its problems, like the lack of development activity. Or do you see that differently? Thanks for everything you do. You know, surprises can show up at any wake of a moment. Surprises can happen at any moment. We'll have to end up seeing. But yeah, here's the best part. Everybody knows now. The acceptance of just being like status quo is okay. We're all just going to have conspiracy theories, and we're going to sit there and play secrets upon secrets games, and Ripple's going to pump the bags. Like, that is not being accepted anymore. And that's important, because all this stuff, people just turn their blind eye to it. And you have all the builders who now feel comfortable to come out and make a stand and say, this is what's really going on, right? We looked at the data. We said, hey, look at this data. This data is trash. And so I started talking to builders, and builders are coming out, and now other people are doing it. I've seen other influencers being vocal about it too. And so it can't be brushed under the rug anymore. It can't be brushed under the rug. Ripple makes a ridiculous amount of money selling their XRP, and they hold on to the war chest. They made promises they have not fulfilled. Now that's being called out. So now they have to answer. It is what it is, man. I've watched the NFT market on the XRP ledger go to zero. Like, the whole market. There is no market. Anything that gets launched, there's no participation. I saw something come out from XP Market, shows that XRP Cafe makes $100 a day max. They make less than $3,000 a month. How does a business survive on less than $3,000 a month with multiple employees? That's impossible. It's impossible. Same for on XRP. They can't survive. Automatic market makers, like, What percentage of people in here have contributed? None. Right. We can look at the number of contributors. Let's go look. How many people are contributing to the market makers? Look at this. None. You can be one of these numbers. You could put in $2 and you become a liquidity provider. I mean, that's how many you have in here. So it's getting called out. It's better for it to all be called out than it to be swept under the rug anymore. That's my thoughts. The data proves it. The data says it. You want to grow? Have builders. Have YOLO. We need a meme culture. That's the truth, dude. We need a meme culture. I watched this presentation given by Jesse Palick. Is that his name? The dude from Base for Coinbase. He's like trying to, completely build up Base. And showing how important meme culture is. And if you have no meme culture whatsoever, then what are you doing? There needs to be silliness. This not be so serious all the time. A little bit of fun. Fun JPEGs. Who cares, man? Some type of meme and culture created, and it not be so dang serious. Those are, it's interesting. So, okay. All right. Anyway, the cat's out of the bag. Everybody's talking about it. That's the best part about it. Now, there's going to have to be answers that will have to come out of it. And so that's, again, it's a long process. It's probably going to take more time. So we'll see. I think there's probably going to be a situation where Joel Katz, David Schwartz will get put on the spot in an uncomfortable situation to get asked about all these questions on camera or in a live stream or in a Twitter Spaces. Brad Garlinghouse get asked, somebody get asked, and they have to answer the questions. They'll eventually come. I have noticed Joel Katz, David Schwartz, not touching it with a 10-foot pole. I think they know. They promised $1 billion, right? Is that what they promised? Creator Fund? They promised $1 billion and have given out 14 million or something, less than 2% of it. That's why all the builders are mad. They were brought on false promises. Okay. All right, we'll move on. Get it out there, man. Grumpy old man. Yeah, he wasn't the only one to sell Hedera, though. I sold at the 786 at just over 12 cents. You can't win them all. You just have to accept it and move forward. I mean, over 12 cents. I mean, who's complaining about that? I mean, what was the price just a few days ago? Earlier in the day, it was 8.7. Hovered there at 7.9. If 12 cents is a 50% gain. All right. Jay Wild says, hey, can you give the BCB crashing structure analysis on BITI? I'm still holding my SQQQ, SDAO, and SPXU from above the 4.236 on the Dow. Well, it's going to be the exact... We actually did this the other day. So I don't want to go through it all over again. BTI is inverse Bitcoin. That's all it is. So if you take Bitcoin and you flip it upside down, you're going to end up with BTI. So... And I think you asked the same thing. Didn't you ask about crashing structure last week? On BTI? And so that's all the data you have on there. You don't have enough data on here for BTI, but what you know is that this is simply inverse Bitcoin, right? So let me mirror that. Here's what we're going to do. We'll do there you go. So they're essentially the exact same thing, right? So if you're going to do it, just be looking at Bitcoin. That's all you need, is to be looking at Bitcoin, not BTI. I think you had asked about crashing structures. I just don't see crashing structure on it. Miguel says, I still think NFTs are stupid. Well, the problem is that the market doesn't think that. There's no purpose for them yet. We need more utility or royalties. We need $1 a day for live NFTs, example. Like your opinion on that, that's fine. But that's not what the market says. The NFT market in crypto is gigantic. It is literally zero on XRP. No projects can get any type of launching of success on XRP. None. Because there's no participation. Your thoughts on NFTs are not representative of the whole cryptocurrency market and the giant ecosystem that exists out there for them. Because it does exist. And like, for me, like, it's not true. It's not true. This is not true. Like if I said, I don't like cheeseburgers, like your example, I think that's dumb because cheeseburgers suck. Right? Like, okay, fine. That's your opinion, but that is not representative of the market, right? The market shows massive volumes, massive amounts of dollars that fly through this thing. There's huge market for it. It just doesn't gain any traction whatsoever. Just like everything doesn't really gain any traction from the users. The users don't use anything on XRP. They're kind of just stuck on this. The Fed's going to buy my XRP. It's going to send it to the moon. It's conspiracy. Come on, conspiracy. Don't claim conspiracy. But we have to use it. But the problem is, how do you force people to? You can't. I mean, that's in the end. We can scream about it all the, hey, you guys have to use it. The problem, there's just not a culture to use it. There's not a reason, right? Reason people would want, like, so I talked about this in a Twitter space the other day when I was talking to King Solomon with Genfinity guys, and I was saying, the entry gate into the Ethereum ecosystem, like into the NFTs, like you have to buy Ethereum to get into that ecosystem to participate in it. And people are willing to spend their Ethereum because they anticipate that they're going to be able to make some money, right? They anticipate they're going to be able to do other things on Ethereum that are going to make them money and make them more, so where they don't feel they have to like hold on to the Ethereum for dear life. It's their entry gate into the door to partake and to try to make some money and to collect things and do stuff like that. There's nothing here for people to do that with, right? Like there's nothing. There's no reason to enter into the door. You know what I mean? To like make money. And that's what we have when we try to do things that are similar to other chains, we can't seem to get any participation out of it. And it's very fascinating. So we'll see. But like you saying, I think NFTs are stupid. That's not what the market thinks, right? So that's not a good enough thing, right? You look at the volumes in relationship to the number of holders of XRP to the number of holders of Ethereum. Like I went through this one before too, in a Twitter space too. It's negligible. It's zero. Like it's the most fascinating thing out there that all these people hold XRP but don't use it in any way. It is totally based off of whatever it is to not use it or do anything with it. Unlike other chains where these people buy the stuff, participate in these networks, there's just an absolute refusal to participate in this network. It's really a sight to behold. I don't know the solution to it. I don't know. The chicken or the egg. How do you get the users to do things? I don't know the answer. You can offer them the same things, but for some reason the users won't do anything. The difference is like there are a lot of funds out there. There's a lot of money out there in other chains too, to support builders. There's none of that here. So, Ripple, what's going on? JR Flight, so did you take any H bar profits in the past 24 hours? I did take a little bit, but I took it too early. Like I said, I didn't expect a 100% rise. So, all right, there we go. There we have it. A little bit of shuffle here, still above 65K over there for Bitcoin. Keep an eye out for a video. What are we at? 59 minutes. Boom, we're like nailing this stuff on an hour now. Keep your eyes out for a video coming out here in the next 20 to 30 minutes. Of course, you guys can check out bcbacker.com for all your most lovely 40 videos and 11 hours of content from me. And the thing that has been a joy to do is make this newsletter over here. The most recent one was put out there last week in collaboration with TXMC. And you can check this one out. We're diving into developer activity again and user activity levels, and they are spiking over there at base. A lot of things you can do over there that makes it fascinating. So, and how much volume did they do? $23 million? Has in a week, has XRP done $23 million in his lifetime? I don't know. That'd be a question for Kai. Or are they on the XRP Cafe guys? I don't know. But the users are flocking here. It seems like that's the way the Coinbase is going to feed them. So if you'd like to read on that and see that stuff, check that out over there at blockchainbacker.substack.com. Link in the description of this live stream. Link in the chat posted there right now. I see Alpha Beta Soup here in the chat right now. My man. So check out the newsletter. Have a great day. Keep an eye out for a video posted here pretty soon. And on that note, I'm wrapping it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you could, please like the live stream and give it a thumbs up. Holy cow, what am I doing? Dude, I've been doing this to you guys a lot. Let me do this first.
It is Wednesday, my It is Wednesday.
All right, here we go. Now we're going to try this. Here we go. Get that down. All right, here we go. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need to pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one. That is very distracting. All right, take care. Bye.